free full guide on building the attractive physique. In this video, I'll teach you how to build the kind of physique that's attractive to girls without wasting months of trial and failure and without complicated stuff. Here's what we'll cover today. Definition, what it takes, your starting point, practical steps, and a cool bonus at the end, so make sure you pay attention. Why should you listen to me? I started my journey back in 2020 as a skinny, weak guy. Teenager, if you want. This is me 5 years ago, and this is me now. I gained a good amount of muscle mass with no excuses, without getting fat naturally, and I can help you do the same. So let's start with number one, which is the definition. The definition: broad shoulders, small waist, full chest, big arms, wide and thick back, and lean. If you just get this right, you're good to go. If you just get this right, you're good to go. And the good news is that I'm going to cover everything in this video, so you just watch this video and you get it done. Another good news: you don't need the bulky type body. All right, it is simply not attractive in most cases. All right, just follow my instructions and it will be very clear and easy to build the right type of body. All right, so as you can see, we don't want this bulky type of look. We want more like this lean, not too muscular. All right, not too muscular, but lean. As you can see, broad shoulders, small waist as possible, a full chest, some big arms, wide and thick back. All right, that's the most important thing. All right, let's talk about what it takes. Now that we know where we're heading, we know the direction, let's see what it takes. This is exactly what it takes, everything you need. 3 or 4 hours per week of training, per week, keep in mind, per week. Then 1 hour per day for making the meals, preparing the meals and everything, what you need to eat. And then maybe 7 to 10 hours of sleep, or enough just to feel well rested. All right, you can really build your body with just a bit of effort and a few hours per week. How long should it take? 6 to 36 months. That's it. If you have good genetics, close to 6 months. If you have suboptimal genetics, you're not blessed, you didn't pick the right parents, then 36 months. If you're willing to just get a bit uncomfortable, you will change your life in 6 to 36 months. All right, that's it. That's all you need. All right, that's all you need, and then you're done. Finish. Good news: the more you get uncomfortable, the easier it gets. All right, so if you are not a retard, watch this video till the end, take the recommended steps, and you're good to go. You're golden. You're golden. You don't need anything else. All right, your starting point. There are more places where you can start from. You can either be skinny, you can either be overweight, and you can be skinny fat. Of course, you can be somewhere in the middle, but these are the main body types that you see in beginners. So as for skinny, if you're skinny, you're really lean, you don't have a lot of body fat. You can see your abs very well, even though they are not popping out, but you can see them. You're very lean, shredded. You have veins. All right, if you're overweight, let's say you're over 25% body fat, you've got a lot of fat kind of everywhere on your body. And then skinny fat, you're a combination of skinny and fat. All right, you are skinny arms, skinny legs, but you have some chest fat, some belly fat, and don't worry, we can fix that. All right, skinny, what you need to do: you need to eat in a surplus to maybe gain half a pound per week. All right, eat just enough to gain half a pound per week, and that can be like 250 calorie surplus. All right, skinny fat. If you're skinny fat, you need to get lean first. This is unconventional advice right here. All right, so I'm gonna try and stick to the rules. All right, so for skinny fat, get lean first, and then you eat in a surplus. Same as skinny. All right, so first, if you're skinny fat, you are already in a surplus, you're already in a bulk. You go from skinny fat to skinny, and then from skinny, you reset your body and everything, and then boom, you bulk, you're gonna make gains. And as for fat, you go in a deficit of 500 to 750 calories. You shred down, you get rid of the fat, and in the same time, you build muscle. Because you're a complete beginner, that's very, very achievable. All right. Like I said, there are more places where you can start from. I walk you by hand in my full program, so click the link in the description right now and get a bunch of bonuses, 41 plus workout routines and everything you need, basically a bunch of sweet bonuses and guides right there. So click right now the link in the description. All right, let's cover the practical steps. I'm going to walk you now through the exact steps to cover 90% of the things. Do this right now. It's for everyone. All right. Number one, you need to get the protein right. Protein per day. You take your body weight in pounds and then you multiply it either by 0.8 or by 1. So the easiest way, if you're 140 pounds, you need 140 grams of protein per day, roughly. Calories per day. Your body weight in pounds and then you multiply it by 15. That's a good starting point. Based on this, you follow the indications for your starting point. So basically, if you take your body weight in pounds and you multiply 15, that's roughly your maintenance calories. So basically, you find out how many calories you need to eat every day to keep your current weight. All right. Once you find your maintenance, you go back to this. And if you're skinny, you eat in a surplus, small surplus, you add a couple of more calories on top of your maintenance that you just found. If you're fat, you subtract 500 to 750 calories from that. If you're skinny fat, you go on maybe a little bit of deficit, you go skinnier, and then you bulk. All right. See how many days you can train for sure, and that will indicate which split to choose. That's the easiest way. I'm telling you right now. Don't go to the 6 days a week workout program, because if you cannot go to the gym 6 days a week, what's the point in doing a 6 days workout program? Make me understand, please. Write a comment or something. Like, what's the reason doing a 6 days a week program? Let's say you do push pull legs, but you can only go to the gym 3 days a week, so you do only half of the workout. What's the point? Like, I heard some retard saying that just as a beginner, just go with a circuit, like a whole body training. I think he wanted to say, like a circuit, full body training for a couple of weeks, and then you start going. You start push pull legs, like doing more, separate the parts and everything. Motherfucker, you are a beginner. Even after 2-3 years of training, even after 5 years of training, I'm still a beginner. All right, and I'm training what, 4 or 5 days a week. If just for a bit of context, he was giving advice to a beginner, and that beginner can go to the gym only 3 days a week for sure. Sometimes 4, but for sure 3 days a week. Why the fuck would you give advice to someone who can go to the gym only 3 days a week to do 6 days a week program? You're fucking retard. You don't know anything. All right, so shut the fuck up. So that's a message for him. But anyway, look at your weekly schedule. See how many days per week you can go to the gym for sure. So if you start like this, I can go to the gym for sure 4 days. Maybe some weeks I can go 6 days. Shut the fuck up. 4 days a week. That's it. 4 days a week. You're good to go. You're golden. It doesn't really matter how many days per week you train as a beginner. You're still gonna make progress, all right? So don't worry about it. Then 4 meals a day, every 4 to 5 hours, all macronutrients. You don't cut out carbs. You don't cut out shit. You just do that. Include all macronutrients in a plate. You take a plate. The easiest way. You take a plate. You add some carbs. You add some protein. You add some vegetables, some fruits, some nuts. You're good to go. Eat that 4 or 5 times a day. You're good. My advice: start with whole body split, 3 days a week if you can. Even though you can do 5 days, 6 days a week, start with 3 days a week. Progressive overload. You start with this, and then in time you adapt, and you see, okay, I feel I can do more. I want to do more. You add 1 more day. So then you train 4 days a week. You do that a couple of months, then we go to 5 days, 6 days. It depends. You can still stay to 3 days, 4 days. But my recommendation, please trust me, start with that. Do that for your first 3 to 6 months. That's it. All you need to do for that. I know you'll fuck it up because you listen to my advice, but you will still do what you think is good because you are a fucking retard. Alright? I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to learn to fucking listen and act. If you want to learn playing guitar, you will listen to someone who knows how to play guitar, right? Common sense. But if you want to get jacked, motherfucker, why the fuck you don't listen to someone who's jacked, teaching you exactly how to do it? I'm right here. I'm here teaching you exactly how to do it. You're gonna listen to my advice and say, yeah, but push-pull legs is superior to whole body 3 times a week. You don't know shit. You're fat or you're skinny or whatever. You don't know shit. I don't know what's wrong with you, but anyway, progression in your lifts. Here's how to progress. It should be slow, all right? And every week. You don't go from one week to another, you add 5 kilograms, and then next week you go back to, you subtract 10 kilograms. No. What's wrong with your training? So it should be slow. The progression in your lifts should be slow and every week. Consistent, in other words. If you add reps, you add 1 or 2 more reps with the same weight from the previous week. If you add sets, you add 1 set at the time to increase the volume. And if you add load, you add 1.25 kilograms to 2.5 kilograms to your lifts every single week. As an example, week 1, you do bicep curls, 3 sets of 15 reps with 10 kg. Week 2, it can be bicep curls, 3 sets of 15 reps, but this time with 12 kg. Nice, you're good, progression. Or it can be week 2, bicep curls, 3 sets of 18 this time with same 10 kilograms. All right, you see how you can play around with it. It's not just adding weight or just adding reps or just adding sets. You can play around with it. All right. And here's the bonus. If you want to do the same transformation as me, which is very achievable in 1 year, I've put a link in the description. If you want to make sure you aren't fucking up, click the link in the description right now. You get the exact workout program that got me jacked, all the knowledge that you need, the training program with a bunch of training programs, bunch of sweet bonuses, guides, and everything you need for your first 2 years and after first 2 years of your training. Click the link in the description right now. Stop letting people decide for you. Take full accountability once in your life. See you there.